Have you ever sat in a quiet room after 60 and wondered why life feels so different now? The house is calm. The phone does not ring as much. The children are busy with their own lives. The days are not as full as they used to be. And sometimes, even when nothing is wrong, something inside still feels heavy. Maybe you have felt this too. You wake up in the morning, look out the window, and think, "What am I supposed to do with this day?" Most people talk about aging like it is only about gray hair, wrinkles, retirement, or doctor visits. But they rarely talk about the quiet part. The part where your world gets smaller without you even noticing. The part where one day at home turns into 2 days. Then a week. Then a month. And before you know it, your body feels slower, your mind feels tired, and your heart starts missing the person you used to be. But here is what many seniors discover too late. Sometimes, the change that brings life back is not big. It is not expensive. It does not require a new house, a new plan, or a perfect family. Sometimes, it begins with something as simple as opening the front door and walking. Not rushing. Not proving anything. Just walking. One quiet step at a time. And by the end of this video, you may look at your own daily walk differently. Because after 60, walking is not just exercise. It can become a way of returning to yourself. Think about a man named Robert. He is 72 years old and lives in Ohio. For most of his life, Robert worked hard. He got up early, drove to work, paid bills, raised children, fixed things around the house, and never had much time to think about himself. Then retirement came. At first, it felt like freedom. No alarm clock. No boss. No long commute. But after a few months, the freedom started to feel strangely empty. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier. His son called once a week. His daughter texted when she could. The neighbors were friendly, but everyone had their own life. So Robert began spending most of his days in the same chair by the window. Coffee in the morning. Television in the afternoon. A frozen dinner at night. Then bed. Nothing terrible was happening. But nothing meaningful was happening either. And this is the part nobody talks about. A quiet life can slowly become a lonely life. And a lonely life can make even small things feel harder. One morning, Robert looked at his old sneakers near the door. They had been sitting there for months. He did not make a big promise. He did not say, "I am going to change my whole life." He simply put them on. He walked to the mailbox. Then to the corner. Then back home. It took less than 10 minutes. But something happened that day. Not something loud. Not something dramatic. Just a small feeling. A feeling that he had moved forward. That he had chosen the day, instead of letting the day choose him. The next morning, he walked again. Then the next. After a while, he started noticing things he had stopped noticing. The smell of fresh grass. A dog barking behind a fence. A little boy waiting for the school bus. A woman watering flowers across the street. The world was still moving. And slowly, Robert felt like he was part of it again. That is one of the first ways walking changes everything after 60. It makes your world bigger again. When you stay inside too long, your world can shrink to the kitchen, the couch, the television, and the bedroom. And when your world gets small, your thoughts can get heavy. You think too much. You remember too much. You worry too much. But when you walk, even for a short time, you step back into life. You see people. You hear sounds. You feel the weather. You remember that the world is still open to you. Before you ignore this, think about your own life for a moment. When was the last time you walked without rushing? Not to get groceries. Not to reach an appointment. Not because someone needed you. But just for yourself. That kind of walk does something quiet to the heart. It says, I still matter. And after 60, that message is more important than many people realize. Walking also gives you a reason to begin the day. This may sound simple, but it is powerful. After retirement, many seniors lose structure. For decades, life had a schedule. Work started at a certain time. Meals happened around family routines. Weekends felt different from weekdays. But later in life, the days can blend together. Monday feels like Thursday. Morning feels like afternoon. And time can pass without leaving any memory behind. A daily walk creates a small anchor. It gives the morning a purpose. You wake up and know, I am going to take my walk. Maybe it is around the block. Maybe it is through a park. Maybe it is down the hallway of an apartment building. Maybe it is inside a mall when the weather is too hot or too cold. The place does not have to be special. The habit is what matters. Because when you walk each day, you are quietly telling yourself, I am still taking care of my life. And that matters. Another thing walking gives back is confidence. Many older adults do not talk about this, but they feel nervous about their own body. They wonder if they are getting weaker. They move less because they are afraid. Then because they move less, they feel even weaker. It becomes a circle. But walking can gently interrupt that circle. Not by forcing the body. Not by pushing too hard. But by reminding you that you can still do something. 1 step becomes 2. 2 minutes becomes 5. 5 minutes becomes 10. And slowly, you begin to trust yourself again. Of course, everyone's body is different. Some people need a cane. Some need a walker. Some need to sit and rest often. Some should ask a doctor before changing their routine. There is no shame in any of that. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to stay connected to life in the way your body allows. Because walking after 60 is not about speed. It is about presence. It is about saying, I am still here. There is also something walking does for the mind. Have you noticed how problems feel bigger when you sit with them too long? A worry can grow in a quiet room. A regret can replay itself over and over. A memory can pull you backward. But when you walk, your thoughts begin to move too. You may start the walk thinking about a bill, a doctor appointment, an old mistake, or someone you miss. But after a few minutes, your mind softens. You notice the sky. You breathe a little deeper. You realize that not every thought needs to be solved right now. Sometimes, walking does not remove the problem. It simply gives your heart enough space to carry it better. And for many seniors, that is a gift. There is another reason daily walking matters, and this one is emotional. Walking can bring back connection. Maybe you wave to the same neighbor each morning. Maybe the cashier at the corner store starts recognizing you. Maybe another older adult at the park smiles and says, Beautiful day, isn't it? It may not seem like much. But small connections can protect the heart from feeling invisible. After a certain age, people often assume you are fine. They stop asking deep questions. They forget that you still need friendship. You still need laughter. You still need to feel seen. A simple walk can open the door to those little human moments. And little moments can save a lonely day. Then, there is the lesson walking teaches about patience. When you are young, life often feels like a race. Get the job. Buy the house. Raise the kids. Pay the bills. Reach the next goal. But after 60, life starts teaching a different lesson. Not everything needs to be fast. Not everything needs to be achieved. Some things are meant to be noticed. A bird on a fence. A cool breeze. A quiet sidewalk. A memory that comes and goes. A prayer whispered under your breath. Walking helps you slow down without giving up. It teaches you that peace is not always found in big events. Sometimes, peace is found in a steady rhythm. Left foot, right foot. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep going. And maybe that is why walking feels so different after 60. Because it is not only the body moving, it is the soul remembering how to live gently. If you are listening to this and thinking, I have waited too long, please hear this clearly. You have not. You do not need to walk miles. You do not need new clothes. You do not need to compare yourself to anyone. Start where you are. Walk to the mailbox. Walk around the living room. Walk to the end of the driveway. Walk with a friend. Walk with your grandchild. Walk in a store when the weather is bad. Walk slowly. Rest when you need to. Be kind to your body. The important thing is not how far you go. The important thing is that you begin. Because sometimes, the smallest change after 60 can bring back peace. A daily walk can give you fresh air. It can give you a reason to get dressed. It can give you a moment away from the television. It can give you a hello from a neighbor. It can give you a little strength, a little calm, and a little hope. And hope does not always arrive like a miracle. Sometimes, hope arrives quietly, in an old pair of shoes by the door. So tomorrow morning, when the house is quiet, try this. Stand up slowly. Put on comfortable shoes. Open the door. Look at the sky. And take one gentle step. Do not think about the whole week. Do not think about changing your whole life. Just take the walk for today. Because today still belongs to you. Your age does not erase your worth. Your slower pace does not erase your purpose. Your quiet life does not mean your story is over. There is still beauty to notice. There are still people to meet. There are still mornings that can surprise you. And there is still a part of you that can come alive again. One step at a time. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to Senior Life Chronicles. And in the comments, tell us one lesson life taught you after 60. Your story may help someone else feel less alone. And if you know a parent, grandparent, neighbor, or friend who needs a little hope today, share this video with them. Because sometimes, one simple reminder can help someone open the door again.